That's me. I'll make it round. I'm sorry, I didn't get the... Oh, shit. I'm trying to get you to see the show. I don't think I'm going to get it. FaceTime, eyeglasses. Blur my background, unmute for incoming calls. Gosh darn it, I don't know how to do it, man. I just figured that out. It's all right. We're gonna have
Don't worry about it.
We're gonna have to go on. What time do we got?
8 o'clock.
All right, let's do it. Let me pull Allison up real quick. Allison sweep. Pictures. Come on. Oh, this is just painful, dude. Allison and Ferris, far out.
I think we're starting right now. That would be good.
Okay. Almost there, man. Almost there. Intro is coming. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Open. Oh, hey, we're live. Looks like. Funny. All right. I guess we're live. Here we go. We have Allison and Sweep playing some Far Out. We have the Far Out rules. They start out with a triple threat round, 3 throws, all throws count. In the second round, we have a sweet shot.
Time begins.
Allison and Ferris playing Far Out for our demo games. Jack, you're here, right?
I am.
Awesome.
What's up, dog?
What's up, dog? So yeah, here we are, getting a little introduction with Allison and Ferris. If you heard me bitching about crazy YouTube stuff, I apologize. I didn't go live.
Remaining.
It went live on its own. She's got 60 seconds. She's got 2 catches.
Dude, stop. Thank you.
Here we go. I think this is her sweet shot.
Good boy. Good job, Ferris. Sweet shot.
30 seconds remaining.
Those of you guys who are on the podcast, we are just opening up with a video demonstration of Far Out. We have Allison and Ferris, the freckled epic.
15
You guys want to
seconds.
catch the live video? It'll be up on the Positive Vibe
10.
YouTube page. Jack's going to mark that off.
Come on, dude.
All right,
Five,
Allison and Ferris, 106.5 yards. Centurion
time.
achievement.
Ferris.
Nice.
Yeah, right?
That dog's a rock star.
Yeah, that dog's amazing. He'd be better if he didn't have freckles, though.
Never.
Right?
Freckles are his superpower.
Right, there we go. So we're both here, Jack. Welcome to the show, everybody. My name's Ron Watson. I'm with Positive Vibe. I'm here with Jack Faley, founder of UpDog. We're running this podcast called sUpDog. And we're going to talk about UpDog and discs and disc dogs and all kinds of cool stuff. So what do you got to say, Jack?
Well, I hope everybody's having a good week. We got some cool topics tonight. I think that you guys will be interested in. One of the things we like to do is kind of look around on the UpDog discussion page and incorporate some of the chatter that's going on there into our shows. So hopefully you guys will see some relevant topics that we touch on tonight.
Yeah, we got a couple of things that are fresh off of the UpDog discussion board. We also have a couple topics that I kind of laid out. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a short show today. We're getting out of Dodge, trying to head on up north and get on with our road travels. So it's looking pretty sparse back here. It's probably sounding really hollow. But yeah, so Jack, I have a question to start off, and it's a question that lots of people are hot on, and we'll put you a little bit on the hot seat here. Qualifications for 2020, what's going on with that? Can you tell us anything about that? Are you there, Jack? Oh, we seem to have lost Jack. That's not good. All right, so let's see. Jack just hit me up. I froze up on Jack's computer. Is there anybody here who's watching the show who can tell me if I'm still live? I'll hang up on Jack. There we go. That's our next session. All right. So here I am. Jack is still kind of stuck in limbo somewhere. I'm going to try and give him a call. Looks like Skype has crashed on me. That's terrific. Here, Jason. Yes, you can hear me? All right. Jack is frozen. Thanks, Jim. Trying to get Jack back on. Fingers crossed this will work. All right, I'm calling him right now. Let's see. Do 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 do. What's up, Jack? Are you there? Recording camera, Skype. Ah, there we go. There we go. iStog 9. Yay! We're back, Jack. Awesome. So I was lobbing you that hot potato question right at the perfect time. I think Jack bailed out. He didn't want to answer the hot seat question.
I didn't even hear the hot question. What was
Yeah,
the hot
sure you
question?
didn't. Sure you didn't. Qualifications for 2020 for UpDIF. It's a hot topic. Is there anything you can tell us about that?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're breaking up again. That other laughter is Kat to my left, who's hanging out listening. But yeah, so I know it is a hot topic. I know people are wanting to know about UpDIF, and that's awesome. I love the fact that people are wanting to know about it so far in advance and wanting to know, how they're going to get there and all that good stuff. I know that Kat had posted, I think, somewhere on the discussion page not too long ago about a May deadline, right, for the team to decide. And we do have regular calls. I don't know if a lot of UpDoggers know that, but all of Team UpDog kind of gets together. We have regular calls on a weekly basis, and we talk about those things. And one of the things that we've been talking about for the last 3 weeks for the entire call, so literally like 6-8 hours of conversation has been around that. And it's just really, it's a cool thing because UpDIF is growing, UpDog's growing. We got more players, more people wanting to come to UpDIF, so that's amazing. But that also presents logistics. And one thing that we definitely don't want to do is we don't want to negatively impact the player experience. So our task is trying to find a way to let as many folks come to UpDIF as possible while maintaining a positive, fun player experience. So I know this sounds like I'm just skirting around the issue, which I kind of am, but we do have a lot of stuff down. We have a lot of concrete pieces down, and so I think we figured out the hardest part, we've just got to work through some of the ways in which we can make it happen, tech-wise and otherwise. And as soon as we got that all nailed down and we know that it's doable, then we're gonna release that information. And I know that we will definitely have it, like we said, by our own deadline of by May. So how many days in May? May 31st, right? Yeah, today's the 22nd, so time's ticking.
You're almost there.
But the good news is for any of those people that, haven't been to UpDIF before and they know last year's UpDIF literally sold out in about, 2 minutes, 3 minutes online. Yep. And then we found a way to get anybody who didn't make it in by doing a little bit of magic with the running orders and whatnot. But the good news is we're finding a way to get even more folks in for next year. So hopefully we will be good to go with that, and we'll give you more updates before the end of the month.
Yeah, middle of next week-ish.
Kat says middle of next week-ish, but she added the ish.
Ish? That's all right.
Yeah.
That'll work. I know a little bit about that, and it is a big mouthful, I gave Jack a heads up that I was asking him that question. It's a hot topic for everybody. It's really important. Unfortunately, UpDog is not Wimbledon and can't run 30 fields, because that's probably what we're going to need sometime soon. So we have a date coming up, a drop dead announcement date of May 30th. Right, May 30th on the qualifications.
There's not a 31 days in May?
There is? Is May 31?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
May 31st. Don't cut us off a day. We may need it.
You got an extra one. You got an extra day then. So we don't have qualification info on UpDIF 2020, but we do have a location. And Kat, you just went up and scouted that out. Do you guys have anything to report on Helen, Georgia 2020 UpDIF?
So I went up to
Kat.
kind of remeasure and to make sure that we could run 2 far out fields at the same time, because that's not something we did when we were there in 2018. And I was able to confirm that we can run 2 far out fields at the same time, so that's great news in terms of being able to allow more people to play that game.
Okay.
And I think I found us a 4th full-size field space and an additional field space for like our 3x3 games, our games that you can play on 20 by 30 yards.
Awesome.
So it gives us a little flexibility. We just now have to, come up with the right amount of judges to make the best use of all of that. So.
Yeah, and Kat put out a little call on the discussion page today or maybe yesterday, I don't know. About, if anybody themselves or maybe a significant other or a friend is interested in judging at UpDIF. Obviously, it's those judges that make everything happen, and we can't run 4 fields just because we've got the space for 4 fields if we don't have, judge volunteers to run those 4 fields. So if you haven't already, contact Kat, Kat at UpDogChallenge.com. If you yourself or, like I said, somebody maybe in between dogs or a friend or spouse that knows the games well and could help us out.
Come for judges, for potential judges. I'm gonna, there we go. Ouch. I hope I didn't scare you guys with that. There we go. Got a little note. So Kat at UpDog Challenge for potential judges. You can just hit that email right there. We'll go ahead and leave that up for a while. Awesome. So I really love the idea of the small fields. I've been doing an abbreviated field. I've been doing a hashtag field that I do pretty frequently. I want to actually hit on that on the podcast as well. So the idea that we're going to be doing a couple of 3x3 games perhaps on a 3x3 field is kind of cool. Definitely organizational boon for you guys too, being able to do kind of whatever you want. That's awesome. Yep. Yep, it is, Jack.
Yep.
Awesome.
I was going to add something, but I didn't want to go off on a tangent,
right.
So I just stopped.
Right, that's all right. I think people are here for the tangent. They certainly aren't here for the straight talk, I don't think. Although you and I are capable of straight talk, but we kind of... all right, so let's go ahead and move on. I'd like to hit on a topic from the discussion, from UpDog Challenge discussions page. I will go ahead and post that link here in just a moment. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and do that right now. Hopefully I got the right link. Awesome. I'll pop that up there. You guys can get a look at that. Oh, I do have something on here.
And I wish I could see what was going on.
I know. You will be able to. I'm sorry, Jack. My computer emergency restarted, updated my operating system. Made me a little bit late for this, for the prep for this call. So from the discussion forum, we had a question about like what constitutes a throw. It's not a take, right? So there were a little bit of discussion on that, and I thought it would be a good conversation to have, and a good way for us to here. You know what? I will just go ahead and screen share that real quick. Let me see, Chrome. Did I get it? Yes, I did. But now I got whatchamacallit's up. So the question, I have a question or area of discussion as we were musing over this at our competition weekend. In four-way play, but likely could apply to other games that only require a short throw. What defines a throw? For example, many competitors do a juggle type throw to finish a quad, start a new one. We also have beginner competitors and or puppies who prefer safer to catch extremely short throws that could almost look like a handoff, but there's a distinct moment where the disc isn't touching the hand, not quite in the mouth yet. How much distance does the disc actually need to travel from hand to mouth? You can't find it defined anywhere in the general rules or in the four-way play rules. I know throw and go, we do have an honor line that prevents the dog from essentially juggling off the start line. We also have an honor line in Frizzagility as well. So there's the question. There's a pretty good discussion. I got a link to it on the page in the chat. Let's see. Jack, you want to take a crack at that, or you want me to start? I'm happy to start if you'd like.
You can start if you want, and I'll jump in.
Awesome. I'm going to go right to the straight talk. Anything that's out of the hand is a throw. The end. Any daylight that I can find in there as a judge, I'm going to give your dog the benefit of the doubt per the UpDog rules. The games are not about separation and super cool play. The games are about functioning objectively and scoring points. So that's kind of how I'll answer it. I do have a lot more to say about it, though. But that's the short, straight answer. Jack, go ahead.
Yeah, so, there's a number of things, obviously, that are defined in the UpDog rules, and then there's a lot of things that are not defined. We actually like to not define as many things as possible.
It can't be gamed that way. Yeah.
Yeah, and it also, we don't like to lock things down. We like to let our players, if it's not in the rules, then it's not a rule kind of thing, and that gives you more opportunities for strategies and things like that. We did have to define a catch just because we had a number of questions about it, and we wanted to help our judges and help our players. But essentially, like you said, when the disc is in the air, it is a throw. Now, if it doesn't leave the player's hand, it's not a throw. That would be a take. And especially if I wanted to make sure that if there was any question in my mind as a thrower, like if I thought to myself, I'm not sure if that was even a throw, I would want to, put a little bit more air there so that I make sure that I'm demonstrating a throw. But also, to your point, in the rules it says that the judges are going to give the players the benefit of the doubt. So so just the whole point too with the honor lines didn't have those honor lines really didn't have anything to do with delineating between a throw and not a throw. Those honor lines, the honor line in fragility is really to play in the spirit of the game. Obstacles and throws are part of the game, not just obstacles, and so that's why we put the honor line in the fragility there, so just so that a player doesn't come up, throw the disc on the ground, grab it, and run through obstacles again. And then for throw and go, it was simply, it's called throw and go, not throw and sit in front of me while I do 19 juggles to get 19 points. So we wanted the go and throw and go,
right.
And in order to do that, we put the 3-yard honor line there. But other than that, we don't really define what a throw is, and I think we'd like to leave it that way.
Yeah, I think it's a really smart idea to define as little as possible, to leave as much up to like standard interpretation, logical interpretation as possible. What is a throw? Grab a dictionary. Grab a dictionary. We're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. In frisbee, dog frisbee, we're very familiar, experienced judges are very familiar with the difference between a take and a non-take. And there's a big difference between, that person only does takes, meaning they throw short. Like everything is pretty much a take. In freestyle, separation is important. It really, really is important. But in these games, the goal is to objectively score points. And, while objectively this is a throw, in freestyle, the spirit of the game, that's not a throw. The other thing I really liked in your answer, Jack, was bringing it back to the spirit of the game. I think that's really important. And that's something I think UpDog embodies quite well. That there is a spirit of frisbee dog play that we all kind of groove with. I think that's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, and I can remember as you're talking there and you're showing with your hands, like this much might be a throw or whatever. I can remember way before UpDog was around, sitting in a judge's seat, hearing a judge next to me, as we're judging freestyle, and judges asking the question, was that a take or was that a throw? And I always remember that many folks always just said, well, could you see daylight? Was there daylight between the hand and the disc? If so, that was a throw.
Right, and you know what? Yes, objectively, but no, it wasn't a throw in freestyle. You know what I mean? Like, and it was. It's counted as a catch or a miss, but it's not the spirit of the game, man. And you're going to get the least score possible from an experienced judge.
Yeah, definitely in freestyle, obviously,
yeah.
We're talking. But
yeah. And so there is like a legit concern about what constitutes a throw, But again, going to the spirit of the game and the objective nature of the games, we're literally just looking for daylight. So I don't know. We have an honor line in fragility and throw and go. Those are the only two games with a distance requirement, correct?
I think so. Is that right, Ken? Yeah.
And
I mean, obviously, some games you can be right up on the zone that you're throwing to, like 7-Up and 4-way play. You can literally be, inches away from your dog or less even when you make the throw. And other games, that's not possible, like, spaced out and things like that, where just by the nature of where you stand, you wouldn't be able to make a throw like that,
Right. We also have a similar situation in spaced out, right? Like, and it's not a distance thing, but you can't score in the same zone twice in a row. You can't like throw to this zone and then throw one in the dirt and then throw another one to that zone. Another one of those spirit rules for the spirit of the law. But I think those are kind of the only requirements we have, right?
Yep. Yeah, and again, I was thinking of a tangent, but I'll hold off on the tangent when you started talking about spaced out. and we're verging on
the
another
close
discussion
calls,
that
yeah.
came up on discussion page, but we'll save that till next week so you guys can kind of wonder what that's about. But another topic came up that was related that we'll hit on next week.
Awesome, and we will do that in the close calls section, I take it?
Yep, yeah.
Awesome. All right, so we can take questions, guys. I don't know if anybody's here. I'm not checking. Yeah, it looks like we got 2 people here. If you guys have any questions, we can totally take that. We do want to interact with people. If you guys have Skype, I'm Canine Disc on Skype. You can Skype me, get into the podcast if you want. Shoot. What constitutes a throw? I think we covered that. I think next on the agenda, Jack, is Club UpDog. Do you want to introduce that and let us know what the segment is going to be about?
Sure. So yeah, we've if this is the first podcast you're listening to, it probably is. We've only had a couple, but hopefully maybe you've caught the earlier one too. But Ron and I are going to have different segments that we'll revisit on topics that will come up frequently, I'm sure. So one is Club UpDog. It is it's not about the clubbing life. Those are days gone by pretty much for me. Yeah. Those are some good moves though, Ron.
Right.
So it's about helping folks involved in clubs how to run their events and how to organize things and different ways that they can approach stuff. And again, on the discussion page recently, I think this might have been last week, Kat can probably clarify, but there was a conversation about level 2 and when would you want to play level 2 versus level 1, and then there started to be a discussion about that some players feel the push to move out of level 1 because they don't want to take awards away from a level 1 player because they're a higher level player than maybe most of the folks.
Right.
And really level 1 and level 2 isn't what a club should really be using to kind of separate players like that and to provide more opportunities for awarding good rounds out there. So what we do locally and what's in the general rules for UpDog is actually it talks about divisions, and if you're running a local event, we do this at UpDIF as well, but if you're running a local event, there are a number of divisions that you can separate your teams into to be able to recognize more people and recognize what they're able to do. So like we typically have a novice division and an intermediate division, so our high level players can still play level 1 games, and our lower level players, some of our beginners and things like that, they can still be recognized for their great rounds through the novice division. We also, depending on how many people show up, we have a youth division, and but there's any type of division that any distinction or separation of the teams, whether it be dogs or humans, can be decided upon by the clubs. Like I've heard of some clubs, looking into having a senior division or something like that with folks that might be older and maybe can't compete with the youthful players. And then of course divisions of dogs, we have height divisions in UpDog, so that a little tiny Papillon doesn't have to be up against a Malinois that's able to run 3-4 times faster than the Papillon and cover ground like that quickly and get a higher score. So if you're a host or you belong to a club that hosts, these are things you definitely want to bring up to the people that organize the awards and organize the recognition from the different games, so that you can recognize as many folks as you want to.
That's awesome. The level 1 and level 2 is an interesting discussion. The divisions, I think, are terrific. They're a great way to get around that. We hit on this last week with the introduction of level 2 Is It For You? You guys can check that out on the UpDog Challenge YouTube page or on the podcast page. We did a few minutes on that, busted that out in its own separate little segment. The games are very different, level 1 and level 2, you know, and I don't think anybody should feel pressured to play one over the other. And if the clubs are feeling like they're pushing people, or the people in the clubs are feeling like they're getting pushed into a division that maybe they don't want to play, I think divisions is a great way, terrific way to get around that. You know, between the heights and then, you know, the team or the handler experience, do you think that should go based on handler experience or team experience, Jack? Do you have a preference on that?
I mean, we've got players locally that will play intermediate division with their experienced dog, and then play novice division with a brand new dog. Especially, you know, like a puppy, something along those lines, that they know there's no way that they're going to compete at a higher level in the intermediate division. And we don't really, you know, other than a division like the youth division, where obviously we don't let you know, Gary Duke, who's in our club and, you know, is pushing 29, we don't let him be in the youth division. But other than that, other than age restrictions, we really don't force a human into one division or the other, and we kind of let the club members. It's funny because the club members will call out somebody sometimes when, you know, they're in a division that they shouldn't be in.
Bagger.
And yeah, they'll exactly. I mean, I remember one time it was funny amongst some of the female members of the group. They got on somebody that they felt shouldn't be in the novice division and gave them a good ribbing, you know, and it was all in good fun and everything. But also a player could move up to the intermediate division, and if they get blown away after a couple events and they realize, gosh, I moved up thinking I was ready for this, but I'm really not, the cool part is they can move back down. There's nothing saying as soon as you move up you got to stay there or anything like that.
You know, another really cool thing about UpDog in particular with the achievements and whatnot is that most of the time you're not really competing for raw points and the placement. You know, and I know some of us are, and some of us are at different times or in different games. But I don't feel the driving need to win or to smash it on any of the games. I mean, at the finals I did. I wanted to do well, but I didn't. I don't feel like I have to perform max points all the time. I can get value and experience and, you know, pleasure and accomplishment from doing a good job in a way that makes me and my dog look good, like that we want to do. You know, I don't feel that need to have the big points or the big wins. So I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I agree too, and that's how I feel when I play. And obviously, as somebody who started UpDog, it's probably a little bit different. Me too. I don't feel comfortable at all taking a placement, especially locally where I'm running an event too. But it's fun just to, you know, kind of place yourself in a division with, you know, peers that you feel have similar skills and whose dogs have similar skills, and, you know, then you can kind of see, like, where are you at? You know, do you have some work to do? Are you doing pretty well compared with the rest of the folks that are out there? And I think it gives you some goals to shoot for too. You know, did you see so-and-so? Chris went out there with his dog Twist and got a triple quad. I'm only 2 catches away from a triple quad. I need to work on that or whatever. You know, like, so I think placing yourself into a peer group and having the ability to move back and forth amongst those groups too is part of the whole, you know, expand and achieve part of UpDog. So it's kind of fun that way. I know I've been in other organizations where if something happens, like if you decide to move up, you have to stay there, or if you win something one day, if you happen to have an amazing day,
Right.
and everything fell right your way, sometimes it's like, yay, I did,
The
what?
quad.
I gotta move up to what? And I gotta stay in that division. It's almost like you wish you would have not won.
Right.
So I like the fact that, you can move back and forth, and I think that's good for our players.
Awesome. I agree. I don't see any questions coming in on that, although I do think it's totally something that we could revisit, probably should revisit, just because I think it's always going to be an issue, and if it isn't talked about frequently or accessible discussions available, it would just be a good thing to revisit, I think.
I got a quick tech question for you, Ron.
Uh-huh.
So I was just thinking, I know that this is kind of a soft opening with our podcast, and there's not a lot of people that know about it at this moment.
Right.
But if I know these things get posted, the podcast gets posted, and then they can find it like on iTunes and YouTube and
iTunes, Google Play, like pretty much all the podcasting things. Yeah.
So are there places where they can, so if I listen to this later and then I have a question about something like that and I'd like it to be maybe touched on again or something, can they comment somewhere? Or is there a place where they can do that on some of these?
Not on the podcasting stuff. That's
Okay.
kind of what I'm relying on YouTube for, right? Like the ability, first of all, for us to do video, right? We do some things with video that are pretty cool. So that's kind of important. And then the other thing is just the kind of community access that you get with YouTube. The ability for people to hit us up.
Oh, and Kat just reminded me too, Ron, that we've got that Cognito form that she created.
Oh yeah. Yep.
For suggestions and questions, but I'm not sure where that link is housed.
There is questions, suggestions form. Thank you, Kat, both times for doing it and for reminding me. On our web series page on Positive Vibe, and Kat, I do not know where you put it, so wherever you have it, and then positivevibepvibe.com. There's a web series link in the menu. It's right at the top there. All three of us get it. We'll get your question or your suggestion via email.
Yeah, and I know that once we get everything worked out, which I think we're on our way to doing that, more stuff will be posted on UpDog Challenge as well, and we can post the links there and stuff.
Yeah. The website stuff is it's a little difficult to navigate, like to get it all on the web, on the actual web page and stuff. That's the link in the chat, and here is the link to the form.
Yeah.
So you can grab that form there. Again, that's suggestions and like questions to have, questions or topics that you'd like to see covered.
Okay. Kat actually said we have a couple there, so we'll have to take a look at those and hit them up next week, maybe.
Sweet, that's awesome. I'm super excited to do that. One of the reasons that I've been wanting to do a Frisbee podcast, the Frisbee Dog podcast, for a long time. One of the reasons I hit Jack up about doing this with Jack on UpDog is that there's a lot of really cool things to talk about within the games. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of really awesome foundation that's available to us. And so, like, as far as a framework for discussion, UpDog is terrific. So, you guys bring in these good questions, these good topics, and we'll talk about them as best we can, and hopefully make it fun and informative for people. So let's move on. I have another segment here, Jack. I'm gonna just go ahead and pop this up. We got a little teaser, and then we're going to slide right into a couple of videos. The topic is a sugar rush. So here we go. Let's see how this works. Go, Epi. Dog, disc, and handler in the sweet spot, same time. That is a sugar rush. All right, and so now here we go, Jack. Oh shoot, I have to add you. I'm gonna be able to do that. One moment. Let me add Jack. We'll just go ahead and hold on that for a sec. I'm gonna let the four-way play level 2 video play after we talk about this a little bit. Sweet spot definition: dog, disc, handler in the sweet spot at the T in time, correct?
Yes.
Right, and the sugar rush. Sugar rush is all of those criteria for the sweet spot being met while a disc is in flight to a scoring zone that is caught after the T in time. That's a pretty good description. You got something you can do a little better than that?
No, that's good, Ron. The only thing to add there is that that disc in flight needs to be like an additional disc, so they need to have one in the sweet spot. In the sweet spot's defined as either on the ground or in the dog's mouth or the human's, hand or mouth or whatever.
Right.
So they just need to make sure they've got that extra disc somewhere. Sometimes people attempt to do the sugar rush rather, and use their only disc and throw it out of the sweet spot, so they don't get the sweet spot bonus.
Right. We will be featuring the last video, Loot and I whiff, on just that. A really nice attempt, timing and placement. Everything went well. We got the catch. No disc in the sweet spot. So yeah, sugar rush, super fun. We're gonna go over this epic. I'll just cut like close to the end, and we can watch the last few seconds. And I want to talk about the timing a little bit, Jack, and getting it set up. Both of us have experience at that. Some people, Terry Johnson, hi Terry, hopefully you see it, mentioned that like that's a unicorn trick for her. And I think it kind of has this like little mystique to it of like, ooh, it's super hard. Or you're just lucky when you do it. But if you're actually planning for it and you kind of are present in the game, the whole game, it's not too hard to do, really. It really isn't too hard to do if you're aware of it. If you're just like scoring points as fast as you can, you're probably not going to get the sugar rush. But anyway, let me pull up this video real quick. I'll show you the end of Epic. I'll kind of talk us through it. Jack and I will talk about timing, and then we'll show you a couple whiffs with me and Abby. All right. So here we go. Let's see. We got Epi here. Here we go. This is four-way play level 2. We got zone 4. As the zones are cleared, they turn gray on this video. If you hear a boop, that's a zone being hit. We're going over to zone 1 right now. Right. Pulling them around, rear cross to zone 2. There's a cleared quad. We got to move to another zone. By the way, Jack, I'm practicing my play-by-play. Epi going around, little jump right here. Boom, zone 1. Zone 2, going down the line. Oh, it's in by a hair. Magnifying glass proving it. Here he comes. He's going to come across for zone 4. I'm throwing from the 1 and the 4 side, if you guys know level 2. Here we go for zone 3. We're going for our second quad. We're running out of time. Here it is. Okay, I just sent him around. Was that 3 seconds, right, Jack?
I can't see the video.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I'm doing it. I think I'm doing a pretty good job of
yeah, I mean, right? I was picturing it in my head.
Yeah, I actually think that's going to be an important feature within the show, is to do a good job of narrating the game. So Epi's going around. I'm standing just outside of the actual sweet spot in the alternate throwing zone in level 2. He's going around. 3 seconds, or actually it was 2. 2 second, 1 second. I make the throw. He's going into the sweet spot. T and time. He's right in the sweet spot. I step in. Who is the throw going to be caught? Yes, in 3. Sugar Rush with evil laugh. Awesome. So yeah, that is the Sugar Rush.
That was a very sophisticated Sugar Rush.
It was, man. It was, and I planned it, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this in level 2 4-way play. You can actually plan that, and as you get more experience with the game, you can totally plan that. Be cool as the other side of the cucumber, or as the other side of the pillow, or cool as a cucumber, right? So yeah, the 2 seconds I think is the time that you really want to be moving on your around. If you're going to send your dog around for a Sugar Rush, you want your dog moving it too, for the most part. What do you think of that? I mean, unless you're doing a tiny little toss, any kind of toss.
Yeah, and I mean, it's best if you give yourself a little bit of room too. Like you said, it's easier to do the Sugar Rush if you've at least got like a little, like 5 yards to play with.
Yeah, so the disc can actually fly, right?
Right, and also it gives you, your timing doesn't have to be so perfect if you back up a little bit. If I'm throwing to zone 4 and I back up, like in your situation, you were playing level 2, so you had 10 yards to play with because you were throwing across the sweet spot.
Right.
But like if you're playing level 1, I know in its most early stages, as people start to try the Sugar Rush, they'll back way up into a corner and then throw to the opposite corner, so that way they're giving them probably a full second, maybe even 2 seconds for their dog to run across the sweet spot, make sure the T and time is called and that disc is thrown, and they can make the catch in the opposite corner.
Yeah, if we go back to the conversation we were having about the separation and what constitutes a throw, the timing of this toss, 3, 2, 1, catch. Like, you can't Sugar Rush in a short toss. And I think everyone is really wired, especially coming down to the wire. Holy cow, got it! You know, and you want to puke it out there, and you can't puke it out there. You have to relax, chill, and deliver. Stepping back, definitely, giving yourself some flight time so you don't have a quarter second between the time you throw it and the dog catching it. Yeah. So your advice is throw a little longer. Your advice has no time in it at all, Jack. That's a way better answer than mine. When we're talking about timing, and you can get an answer that doesn't make you early or late, but makes you on criteria, I'm going to throw far. Whew.
Just make sure your throw is out of your hands before the T and time.
Before the T and time, yep. Yeah, and that's where my 2 seconds, I was thinking about it last night as I was planning the show today. You know, my dog is here, ready? 3, 2, I send the dog around, 1, time. And
just...
Go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, with what I don't want to do is I don't want to have my dog going around at 1. It's way too fast, and I got to throw it like while the dog is still behind me. We're not together as a team. I also don't want to be at like 4 seconds or 5. People get to 5 seconds and think it's over. My round is over. You can space out in 5 seconds. Not kidding, guys. You can get 2 zones in 4-way play in 5 seconds. All kinds of stuff happens in 5 seconds all the time. You know, and you get down into 4 and 3, and you're in the sweet spot, making that short toss in 4-way play, or you're in zone 4, hitting the sweet spot, right? Real close. and you throw at 4 seconds, you're not getting that sweet spot. If your dog goes around at 4 seconds, they're going to catch it before the tee and time. So I like about 2 seconds personally. Jack, I think your hit on the distance as far as a timer is really important as well.
And I was going to add to it, like, know your dog's movements. If you've got a big flanking dog, you know, don't send your dog around don't send your dog around when you're at the outskirts of a zone, and then your dog leaves the zone and makes a big round circle before they get to the, you know, or half circle before they get to the score zone, because it's likely they'd be out of the sweet spot when time expires.
You know,
and if you've got a big flanking dog like that, just kind of position yourself in the zone and think about which zone you're throwing to, which will help you, you know, kind of navigate your dog into the sweet spot as the tee and time expires.
Yeah, the important thing I think with that is to be present and know what's happening within the game, and that this was like this is probably the biggest sweet spot secret. As a matter of fact, hang on, I'm gonna here, the biggest sweet spot secret. All right. The biggest sweet spot secret, and that is to know what the hell you're doing and to try and do it right. If you're out there scoring points as quickly as you can, I'm cranking quads out, when you get to 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you are not ready. You know what I mean? It's not the same mentality. So be aware when you get down to 10 or 12 seconds. Okay, hey, do I have a sugar rush opportunity here? If so, let me be present, read my dog, know how we play, and execute. You know, having the 3 or 5 happen and then go, I'm going to sugar rush right now. Good luck. Right? Go from cranking out zones to 5. I'm going to sugar rush now. Probably not going to happen for you. Be present, know what's happening within the game, and when it comes time, you know, send your dog around on 2, make the toss on 1, make a catch. It really is kind of that easy, but you have to be present, you have to be aware of what's happening within the game. Jack, do you have any tips on Sugar Rush?
Well, I was just going to add to that comment, Ron, about, you know, just being present, thinking through stuff, and, like, you know, I mean, you obviously best laid plans, right? And
oh yeah, everyone, the system.
The last time that I was playing level 2 four-way play, you know, the whole notion of the sweet spot when we designed it was to create a little bit of strategy in the final seconds of the game. Just like you were saying earlier, a lot can happen in the last 2-3 seconds of the game, and a lot of points can get scored in the last 2-3 seconds of the game, because you have a lot of options. You know, you have to quickly figure out, like, what option am I going to go for.
Yeah, totally. Are you okay?
Static.
No, I'm all right. April just walked in. Maybe we have some weird. There's a crinkly bag. Do you think there are cookies happening, Jack?
No, I don't.
There's a crinkly bag in the background.
I just was gonna let me finish by saying, and maybe this will make people feel better about maybe an experience they had, but I'm playing level 2 four-way play, and I know the score that I have to beat because we're having a little wager going on.
No beer bat.
Wager, and I'm sitting there. I have to throw across the sweet spot, and I'm thinking I could do a sugar rush here. I could step in. I could get the sweet spot. I could throw for the. Should I throw for the 4 or play the safe bet and jump in the sweet spot and get the 2? And so instead, I did nothing.
Awesome.
And I held onto the disc and lost the wager as well.
Right.
Just because there were so many choices, I was like, should I do this, no, and then the tee and time went, and that was it. Right,
and you know, that's awesome. I think that's we were talking about you have to think and plan, and you know, you can't really think and be present at the same time, guys. ideally, you kind of set up a plan and then you roll with your plan, right? Like, so to be present, it's 30 seconds. 30 seconds. I have this many points. Do I need to change my strategy? No? Okay, keep going. 10 seconds. Hey, man, I can sugar rush. Awesome. Execute. You want to be that comfortable. You want to be that kind of purposeful. You want to let what you do with the game happen with knowledge and with purpose, right? But like if you're Jack, you got like completely big brained into freezing because you were thinking through all of the options, right? And when I'm talking about being present or thinking about the game, I'm not really talking about thinking about the rules or the mechanics or anything. I'm really kind of talking about knowing what you're doing, knowing how it works, knowing how far your dog runs out after a catch, knowing which way he turns after a catch, right? And knowing how to deliver a disc to the left side real quick with an around move, rather than having to turn your whole body or send your dog all the way around 270 to go over there. But knowing how the game works, not necessarily thinking about the game. That's a place where we get in trouble. That was awesome. Super cool. I've not frozen up, but I've made some really, really terrible decisions. Like make a throw when I'm not even in the sweet spot. You know? Yeah, like just what am I doing? All right, so Sugar Rush, I think we kind of covered it. Super fun. Those of you guys who think it's a unicorn, Terry, it's not a unicorn. Just hang out. Plan for it. Oh, one last thing on the Sugar Rush. Plan for it. Try it. Go out and run around specifically to nail a Sugar Rush at the end. Purpose your round to get a Sugar Rush. And then play around and do pretty good work for 45 seconds, and then take 15 seconds and get some experience knocking down a Sugar Rush. There's nothing within UpDog that says you have to play the game for the most points every time. Yeah. Yep. Do it. It's super fun, and the more you do it, the more you see it, and the easier it becomes. You can go ahead and wrap that up, Jack.
And back to a club UpDog tip. It's also fun to to promote that kind of stuff, and we've done many times. We pick up some sort of candies or something like that for the events, and anybody that gets a sweet spot in a particular game, they get a piece of candy, or we up the ante and say you got to get a Sugar Rush, and if they get the Sugar Rush, then they get the piece of candy or whatever. It's just something, like you said, it's giving folks something to shoot for, and it doesn't always have to be the high score. You want to get in there and earn the sweet spot or earn the Sugar Rush, and pick up the silly little thing, whatever it is, a piece of candy, a sticker, whatever. It just makes the experience more entertaining for everybody.
Yeah, it's super fun. Sugar Rush, super fun, and so silly, right? Like what a silly thing. But I don't know, man. Like I think everybody who's watched any sport has fantasized about a buzzer beater, and you get to do it whenever you want in UpDog, and I think that's pretty awesome.
Yep. We wanted to create drama in the final minutes, final second.
Speaking of final seconds, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'm gonna go ahead and play Gary, I think, or no, Abby and Rosie. They'll run a round of four-way play. Jack and I'll kind of hang out here, and then we'll do me and Loot. And we'll talk about Abby and Rosie. I'll show the end of the game. There's no reason to belabor it. But here we go. So Abby and Rosie, Superstar. They wind up They have 12 seconds left. 18 points. 1.75 quads. They got the 2. They nailed the 2. Cleared quad. 11 seconds left. All zones are open. She's moving to the adjacent zone. Oh, wrong way, Cline. That's so awesome. She went the wrong way. And here she is with her sweet spot timing. The dog is going around at 2 seconds. She set up the sugar rush. She makes her throw.
Time.
Just outside the zone, but did you see she didn't even move? She didn't even blink. She just stood there.
I would have had to step to get the...
Oh yeah, you would have had to step in, Abby. So there's Abby trying to smash a sugar rush there. Almost had a catch just outside the zone, and she also forgot to step in. Now, in Abby's defense, I don't think she knew that rule. She doesn't. She just goes out there and slays points, man. That's her MO. So I don't think she quite knew the rule. She'll know it next time. Although she set everything up super sweet. You guys can watch it on the YouTube video. And I'm going to go ahead and show Loot and I'll just show the finish. This is a fun key. Oh, we didn't even mention that we can do this in fun key as well. There's a sugar rush in fun key.
Yeah, we can have another sugar rush discussion about a couple other games. There's actually one in fragility sort of as well.
Right. Yeah, and like all of them, as soon as you start playing it, there's something like a sugar rush, right? Jack, we're both up here. So Loot,
Ready, set,
that's really loud.
go.
So fun key, it is four-way play essentially with agility obstacles. Must take an obstacle cleanly to earn the opportunity to throw.
Easy. Yes. Zone
60 seconds.
Yeah, and so like real quick, I smash a cleared quad really quick, and then we have a bunch of trouble.
Zone 2.
Zone 4 is the only one I need. I'm just going to go ahead and go towards the end.
5.
Here we go. So 5 seconds for the sugar rush. I'm at the 2 side of the field, all the way on the right side of the field. We go over the jump.
4, 3.
He comes around. 4, 3, 2. I make the throw. Loot and I sprinting through the sweet spot. I jump. I'm in the sweet spot. T in time. My dog is in the corner of the sweet spot.
Time.
Caught it in the 2 zone. Everything looks good. No disc in that sweet spot.
3, 2.
So I threw my only disc. No points. I get the catch, which is awesome. And I got a super excited stoke from almost getting that sugar rush. But yeah, at the T in time, Loot was in the zone, I was in the zone, no disc in my hand. No sugar rush for you. All right, so that's gonna wrap it up, I think, for today. We're gonna get out of Dodge. We will be heading to the upper Midwest, and I will be going out west in the next couple weeks. Jack, what do you got going on the next couple weeks?
We got a 2-day event this weekend locally. Hopefully we don't melt. It's supposed to be record highs this weekend. So we do a 8 to 12 Beat the Heat series. So we do 8 in the morning until noon, and then we're done and go home and get the dogs cooled off. So we're doing that, and I'm sure that, like I said before, we're going to be doing some decision making on what we talked about earlier with our UpDIF qualifications, and that'll be a full weekend then at that, right?
For sure.
Say, what are you doing the first weekend of June, Jack?
What are you doing the first weekend of June, Jack?
Well, Kat, thank you for asking. So the first weekend of June, Jason and I will both be in Houston at a judging seminar. I know that there are a few spots left for the judging seminar. How do they sign up for that again? There's a link, isn't there, on Facebook?
Yeah, it's actually got posted on the discussion page yesterday or the day before. And from Jill Best, so they could find it that way.
And then on Friday, we're doing a little mini freestyle seminar as well that I believe still has a couple slots. So if you'd like to do any of that and you're in the Houston area or the Texas area, just it's worth a few hours drive. I mean, Jason and I are flying in, so it'd be a fun time and cool people to hang out with and catch up on judging and also a little bit of freestyle stuff.
That's awesome. Certainly want to catch that. These two guys kind of know what they're talking about with UpDog stuff. Not bad Frisbee players either. Like, definitely worth getting out there for. Am I still here? Did I had something weird. I posted the link to that Facebook discussion with the Jack and Jay seminar. So get on that if you're from the Houston area for sure. Super opportunity. We'll be doing this next week, 8 o'clock. I'll be breaking this out, putting it into the podcast, probably shutting down the live link on YouTube. If you want to find it again, you probably want to save that. We're going to try and do some kind of exclusive live stuff with YouTube and try to maintain and groom the episodes and segments a little more seriously than we are on the podcast. The podcast will go out to everybody as it's recorded. So blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we're out. Jack, thanks a bunch for hooking up with me. Kat, thanks for the assist. And
Thanks, Ron, and safe travels to you in April. And I will see you on camera in a week and hope to see you soon.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be a bummer not hanging out, but we'll get to hang out every week, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So we'll see you guys. Take care. I'm shutting her down. See ya.
See ya.